Hello, this is Khalid Ibrahim. In this short video, I would like to answer a commonly asked question by language learners. And the question is, can I learn English from a language app? In fact, we can rephrase this question to include other ways of language learning that are similar in a way. For example, we can ask, can I learn English from TV by watching movies, for example? Or can I learn English from YouTube? Or we can even ask, can I learn English from one of those Learn English in 5 or 10 days books? All of these ways of language learning fall under a similar category, where you as a language learner are standing on one side and the language is standing on the other side. You are looking at the language, you are seeing the language, you are hearing the language, you are even receiving the language, but you are not in the language, you are not using the language. You are passively engaged with the language. In fact, you are separated from the language. Most of the language apps that I'm familiar with use an old method of language learning and teaching called grammar translation method. This method has proven through research and personal experience to be very ineffective. In fact, it declined in the second half of the last century. Basically, this method restricts language learning to very routine and sometimes boring grammar and vocabulary exercises. Exercises like choose the correct word, or translate this word, phrase, or sentence, or fill in the gap, or answer these comprehension questions. These methods of language learning and exercises are very ineffective because they do not encourage the learner to use the language socially. One way to answer this kind of question is to find out what theories of language learning say about this particular issue. There have been many theories developed that attempt to explain the nature of language learning. All of them provide useful insights about how to best learn a language. One in particular is very relevant to our question. It is called the Sociocultural Theory of language learning. This theory was developed based on the work of the famous Soviet psychologist Vygotsky. Vygotsky argued that human learning, including language learning, takes place in and is mediated through social interactions. Simply put, according to the sociocultural theory, effective language learning must take place in a social environment. According to this theory, therefore, using the language in a social environment where we interact with other human beings is very important for effective language learning. It is through discussions, dialogues, and question and answer type of interactions where we find ourselves compelled to use the language appropriately and correctly to achieve a meaningful purpose. For example, we might need using the language to ask about the price of an item, to order drinks and food, to seek advice, to compliment one another, to express gratitude and apologies, and many other functional uses of language that are necessary in social interactions. So, to answer our question, can I learn English from a language app? And the answer is, you might learn certain things about the language. For example, you are likely to learn some vocabulary. You are probably going to learn about the pronunciation of certain words and letters. And you might even learn about some aspects of the English grammar. But it's unlikely that you will achieve high language proficiency from a language app. If the language app is supported by native speakers where you can interact with them, or if the app is set up in a way that allows you to interact with other language learners elsewhere, then we can say it is possible to achieve high level of language proficiency from a language app. So to summarize, the key word here is social interaction. So long you are using the language to interact with other human beings for a meaningful purpose, then you are on your way to achieve high language proficiency. And this interaction can be inside the classroom, could be through a language app, or could be outside the classroom. And the interaction could be in spoken English, or could be through written English, where you write emails and messages to your friends or colleagues or language teachers. I hope you find this information useful, and I look forward to sharing more videos about what research and language theories say about best ways to learn English. Don't forget to subscribe to our Language YouTube channel to stay up to date with the latest videos about the nature of language learning. Thank you.